Hello, I'm James.
I'm Ben.
And this is Two Men.
One film.
Yeah, we're doing that, yeah.
This
Really
can be our
cheesy.
niche now. We've got like a cool intro.
Anyway, we're not going to ramble, right.
Yep.
Straight to film. So, today we're doing a film review on Molly's Game.
Yep, just got out literally out of the cinema.
Yep, and just like before, for the other film, The Room, we're going to do spoiler-free first, and then we'll do spoilers afterwards.
And just a little bits about certain scenes we liked and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah,
Little
okay.
tidbits. Start us off, James, go!
Also, drinking game. Every time I say basically or okay, any video, millions of times. Yeah, so the film itself is based off a true story.
Off a novel, a book.
Well, yeah, but I feel like the court scenes were also meant to be part of the booster. But with true stories, you can basically put one true event in it, and then you can just say it's a true story.
Yeah.
Fictionalize it.
It's only based, it's not a story.
Based of a true story. Well, to be fair, I didn't even... Did it say that at the end of the credits?
I did.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I read from the... Anyway, so my film's about a family and the one character, Molly, and she comes from a very successful family, so...
Silver spoon type.
Well, not really.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to agree to disagree on that one.
Upper class.
Yeah, but the father was on a... Not really a big...
College tutor for psychology in Yale. That seems pretty
This guy
upper
has
class
no
for
idea
me.
how much teachers get paid. They don't get paid that much. So, middle class family, better description. But the children do very well. They're all successful, but they're not important. The main character here is Molly. So she has an incident in a ski accident, and then the story takes on from there. Mm-hmm. And it's basically about an empire that she ends up building up. To do a poker game. So if you like poker, yeah, you probably know what's going on. They were playing the game and I'm like, what does this mean?
River and all this, like,
all these things.
the nuts.
So if you're a poker nut, this is
like,
the film for you.
Okay.
I mean, it's not too much, like, you can understand the thing, but it's just basically about her life and...
Seems like an unfortunate event that she ended up in the business.
Yeah,
it was sort of like, it happened and she just rolled with it like a lot of people do. Just like with the opportunity she was given, she went along with it and she built this empire basically from scratch, but she had little help starting off, like first gradually building herself up to actually owning the poker's game, therefore the title of the movie,
Spoilers.
Molly's Game. Oh shit.
Yeah,
okay.
That is the plot very much. There are things in between, but yeah, that's pretty much the story. Yeah. And then it's just the aftermath. And that's basically the film. There's not really much I can say spoiler free. It's got quite a few good actors in there. It's got, I can't believe it, Zuckerman, Facebook.
Oh,
Zuckerberg. Yeah.
Is that Zuckerberg? I don't think it is. The guy from Superbad.
Yeah, him.
And from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, it's not Zuckerberg. Excuse me.
You're thinking of the guy from the news
It's
this
because
morning
he was
on Facebook?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why you said Zuckerberg.
What's his name?
I don't know
it's
his
Jesse
name.
something, isn't it?
Yeah, so he looks like a Jesse.
Curly hair guy.
Yeah, and
he
Idris
does
Elba
the Facebook
and
movie,
a few
I
other
think, yeah.
famous
He does the
faces.
Facebook movie. The
Yeah, Social
Network, that's it.
the one, yeah.
Curly haired guy, yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with him thinking he's...
Lots of good actors.
Yeah, and Idris Elba, of course, we love him.
Fanboy.
Yeah, fanboy, yeah, no matter how... Yeah, he's pretty much like Idris Elba in any film. You give him any script, he'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I know, very, like, some good emotional scenes, and, like,
Yeah.
I wish he was, like...
Yeah, we would have preferred him to be the focus.
Yeah, I mean...
We watched The Dark Tower, which I know people that read The Dark Tower novels are quite upset, but no matter what, I just love him in them. He doesn't matter what role he's in, he's always, yeah, great. But, I don't know, it's got a good cast, it's good acting throughout. I didn't think there was anything that made me like think, what?
No, very interesting story as well, like the way it leads back and forth between this court case and reality. Really keeps you thinking and, like, on your toes emotionally, I think, as well. Like, I found it very, like, interesting but enjoyable.
So yeah, it's a good, maybe not the most consistent. Like, it was a consistent story, but maybe not the most, entertaining story. If you're looking for adventure or something, even if it's not really like the best story of the year, but good cast, good acting. So yeah. Anyway, that's the end of this. Should we give a score? Or should we give a score at the end?
We can do a score now, halfway through.
Okay, so the score we actually agreed. We never ever agreed.
No.
It was the first time ever. So
7.6.
yes.
Out of 10.
Out of 10, yeah. 7.6. Yeah. So we'll now elaborate why we've given that in the spoiler section.
Yep.
So the film itself is, like we said at the beginning, how she builds his empire, and it's around poker. So she starts off, Molly, after she has the incident, she has a job, and she ends up getting involved in this poker game for a
Falls
job.
into it, like
And
her
she
boss
gets paid a
was
lot
like,
of tips.
Come and do this for me.
And he's an evil man and all that sort of stuff. But yeah,
He is a horrible boss, and he
is.
takes advantage of her, and he
Yeah.
uses her hard-working
But we'll get into the reasons why I wasn't
personality
a big fan.
in order to
Yeah.
benefit him in his poker game, even though she
Yeah,
already
yeah.
knows
He was a bad person, but I've never met the guy,
He's
so I
dying.
can't say. But he was presented as a bad person. Anyway, so she does that, and she gets tipped like $3,000, something like that, ridiculous. And she's like, "Wow!"
Yeah, for the first
So
night.
she starts.
It's like hits her like a train. She's
So she starts
"Ooh, I can
getting
make some
involved every
money
week
here."
in this game, and there's a lot of celebrities involved, and like, oh wow, it's him, and you'll see them go
Big names.
And, yeah, they actually are meant to represent these people as well.
Yes, like popularity, like rock stars, like designers,
Actors.
movie stars, producers, athletes, all these.
I like
famous
how
people.
designers was one of them.
I don't know why it just popped into
There
my
was a
head.
designer.
Yeah,
Apparently.
there was.
He knows his designers.
Yes,
Anyway,
Chanel gloves and all that.
yeah,
you know?
well, that was it. Yeah, bit of advertising. Also, Apple. That's how they pay for the film. But no, so she ends up deciding, I'm going to make my own
Like a
poker
taste
game.
for the blood.
So I make my own poker game with hookers and blackjack. You know what? Forget the whole thing. Though. She actually does it. But yeah, so she does that, and eventually she's doing fine at first. But like every film and every problem, you've got to have a dilemma, and she basically gets in way too deep. At first, she's all careful, but then she starts taking drugs. And
Yeah, she has a very keen sense for the law and making sure that everything is by the books. It's just a normal poker game, like every other casino run in like LA or New York or Hollywood. Just a normal poker game, just her game, like her own casino. But obviously, it's not. It's a private underground game for only high-end people, which is going to end up in higher stakes, bringing more risks, bringing more, like you say, dilemmas and more problems with it as well. But that's the lust for money that brought her to there, which obviously leads to her downfall. But like she's always very vigilant of the laws and keeping it clean the best she can, as her like hero role was to be the loyal, lawful one that didn't do anything wrong.
yeah, that's like a consistent theme. But
Yeah.
one of the main problems I had with it. So yeah, she's meant to be made out like she's not. They do present her as not. She's a human being. She's flawed. She has these problems. And at the end, they have this case, and we'll leave out the ending because at least you've got something to enjoy if you've actually click on this or not and watch it. I I recommend it's a good payoff at the end, I suppose. I mean, Ben loved it. I thought it was okay. It was quite funny. Like if anyone who's like got a basic understanding of psychology or knows about Freud, it has some funny jokes in there. Like, I don't think I was meant to laugh, but I was laughing at not an argument we're having.
Ripping her father into a phone.
she's having a go at Freud, and
hilarious.
he's a therapist, a psychologist, so he's like, oh, you can't do that. Freud's like the father, but
But yeah, it's like your average rebellious teenager, but
Yeah.
she's also very smart.
But that's basically the film. She goes to court, and then you find out, does she get sentenced? What happens? Ooh, you have to find out and watch the film. So the flaws I had with the film was the fact that it spent too much time trying to be like Pulp Fiction, and I know a lot of films do this, and most of them do them quite well. But what I mean by Pulp Fiction is when they go back and forward between present, future, different stories, things like that. And so we go between her past, past,
it
present.
keeps you thinking, but it's also confusing and like
Yeah,
some
like
people
you can just about keep
up.
track of it.
Yeah.
But it would have been better for them to just maybe have the beginning in the past, have the accident, and then go to present day, maybe show, get involved in the court case, then show how she built her empire, because it started showing how I built her empire, then would cut in with present day again, then empire, because I think they really wanted to get Idris Elba some screen time. They wanted to make their money
very
out
much.
of him.
So they played it all around the case.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, he should have been the main character.
it was all around the case, so they cut from the beginning to then the more interesting stuff about the case, about how the case has progressed, to then filler about obviously the stuff that she's explaining to her lawyer for
I mean, it wasn't even
reasons
that
and stuff.
too well connected, though, was it? It was just they just like should say something. It wouldn't even be related to going back to the past, would it?
It was like reading her diary. It was literally they read the book. on
Yeah,
screen.
it was like it was like they were reading the book
Yeah, like Molly's book.
I
Which is
so
on the screen.
I think it would have done better not to go back and forward. I mean, they could have spent more time on the case if that's what they wanted to, but I don't think that should have been. I think they should have picked what the key aspect of their story was going to be. Was it going to be about the book, or was it going to be about the case? And in this case, they decided to be both. I just don't think it worked. Another thing they tried to do is they tried to make Molly likable character. Well, not she's not likable. They present her quite fairly. She's, you know, a typical human. She's flawed. She's quite
aspiring woman.
She's a strong, independent woman.
Yes,
that sort of type.
Inspiring.
And I'm not tend to be a huge fan of that type first. But bias aside, what I didn't like about it was they were trying to make her do that, and she knew she'd messed up, and I liked that bit of the aspect. But what I didn't like is they then tried to brush it over and be like, oh, well, you know, other people do bad things as well, so we're going to let you off.
It's okay.
Yeah,
because
it's
they
like...
do worse things.
And then she does say, to
to
be fair to her, she does say, oh, no, I can't do this, and she's basically protecting these Russians and all these celebrities with families and things, and I'm like...
Which is noble, but at the same time... Like in the film, they say, "Where are they to defend you now?" I mean, and all these names that you're keeping safe, literally for no reason.
They're not helping her out.
No,
that's what the case that her lawyer Idris tries to make out. He tries to say, you know, they're not helping you. And it's sort of, I suppose it's. I
know it's a noble cause and like a chivalry thing, but like you're not getting any gain out of this. If anything, it's making your life more have a hell.
If you're an Ayn Rand fan, you'll be thinking, you know, the virtue of selfishness. You know, why should she put her life less important wise when really she could get out of this if she just gave the names to the FBI.
Yeah.
And then there's the typical, oh, the FBI evil, all the government's evil, and then various sort of messages. I don't tend to like those sort of things, but yeah, other than that, it was and then there was a fun scene with the father. I just didn't like that little brushing over bit. If they kept to she's made a mistake, she admits it, and that was it, that'd be much better, because it would do well for her character, because it would show some growth, and maybe it's meant to represent real life. You don't have, because it is based on a true story, you don't always grow, and sometimes you regress.
Yeah.
But she wasn't a likable character, and even if I know for a fact you can make a dislikable character someone you can still relate to and still support throughout the film. I didn't really support her. I was like, I don't really care what happens to you, to be honest. I care more about the lawyer.
I felt for her, to be honest.
Yeah, they got different opinions, so...
and I also enjoyed the structure of the film. It made it more like easier to read and understand as you were led through the process. Sort of like backlogging between like the case. I enjoyed where it makes it more interesting and kept me on your toes. Whereas they gave you like the origin story followed by like the build up to the future day, where obviously her problem and her dilemma arises, where she's lost all her money, she's in trouble with the mob, and the FBI want her for information. But she doesn't want to give it, being chivalry and all this, and then she explains her whole story and the whole building of her empire of poker games, from obviously where she started with nothing, and like build your way to the top in the classic like Wall Street fashion of like, oh, this is how I made all my money. But like it was interesting to see the transition from like this girl from like a middle class family who was like an athlete and could have had anything she wanted to do, to be encroached and like persuaded by the money and wealth.
I suppose
of this
that's where
poker
the
game.
Strong independent woman thing comes in. You know, she could be anything she wanted, but she was like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do.
I went for the money, which is fair enough.
You sort of have a relation where it's not, because if she actually did the lawyer thing, because she could easily become a lawyer, and she knows a lot about being a lawyer.
No.
She, said you could have had her own.
I think she didn't need the lawyer. Money. I think she understood exactly what was going on all the time. She just needed a representative. Like she could.
Needed someone to talk to, and we needed to get Idris Elba in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why I didn't like her as well. She's sort of represented as one of those sort of really like. She's very smart as well. And it's to do with IQ. I think it's 176 on that.
Yeah.
I know IQ isn't always a
everything
thing. Yeah, it's not just that. It's not. It doesn't mean you'll be always like doing well or
make smart choices.
Yeah, it's as it goes up, it varies in different areas, like how advanced in a certain area. But she was one of those I'm smart, I'm better than you sort of people. That was sort of the attitude. You find out why she has that attitude, and that's probably the best bit of the film.
It's a really good payoff.
Yeah. So we won't ruin
best
that
scene for me, definitely.
Yeah. Good scene.
Just sort of like gives a sort of perspective on the whole reason why. Well, it's up to you if you decide whether that's the whole reason why she did it.
It's an opinion piece. You can say whatever you want.
It's
you
up
guys
to you
all
if you
suck.
It's up to you if you would decide for that. Like personally, I don't think that was the reason that she did it all.
Yeah.
I felt it was more of just a selfish like, I want money. This is how I can easily make
that's
money.
why I had a problem with it.
Yeah, whereas they try and make this all
tried
deep,
to rub
and they're
over
like, oh no, she did
and
it.
it was fine if she
for
wanted
this
to have money
reason,
and
from this
wanted to do that.
background
People,
and all this.
I have no issue if people want to put themselves first, and yet at the same time I'm like, oh look, she's not trying to put herself first. I'm like, what is it?
She's
Pick
the good
one.
guy.
Pick one.
She's the good guy.
What is it? You can do a
She wants
character.
to save all these rich people's
and still do a
families,
good
even though
film.
they did the wrong.
Yeah.
And she has no reason to save them. In my opinion, they're all gamblers, and as a lot of people are high up in society, they all have like problems, and most of them are cheating and like all this, and like, protecting them purely for their pockets or protecting them out of chivalry, I don't know.
I think it was about her name apparently, and I was like, name.
Yeah, well, she did have a
She
pretty
was
big
like- she was
brand
like,
and
I-
name.
yeah.
A lot of people loved her.
Everyone
like
knew
you
who
say.
Molly was, but I was like, really, your name is, you had a illegal gambling game with a load of dangerous people and famous people as well, but you had dangerous individuals like Russian Malbs.
But they
and-
appreciated her for that, and I think that's what meant more to her then.
Yeah, I suppose it's where I suppose I can understand maybe if you.
I mean, they didn't show it at all in the film that they appreciated her, but I felt like they
No,
did
I think
appreciate her.
to her it meant they said that name thing.
They trusted her
So
and all that.
we're
yeah.
rambling a bit now. So good points.
It's
I
like
said good
confidentiality.
cast. I said not the best script, but the actors worked well with what they were given.
Yes.
Nothing that I thought was good. I mean, music. Can't really say best music ever, but
yeah, I found it very interesting, and was one of those films that made you think, and then had
Yeah,
a very
you
interesting
have to pay
conclusion
attention.
at the end that you. I hope you enjoy. I definitely enjoyed. So that's why I scored Molly's Game
yeah,
7.6. Right.
I'm still curious as to what his negatives are, though. If he disagreed with my negatives, so we'll never know, I guess.
But I don't have negatives. I only have good points.
He
That
just-
equate my points.
Go on, then you give some good points. I've been all negative, and it's 7.6. That's still a decent
I
film.
already told you my good points were I enjoyed the plot and the
Yeah.
way it was set out with like the interesting backstory from origins
Okay, so we've
to
got plot.
obviously finding end, and obviously the acting and
Acting.
like the dilemmas and like
So-
the concept of how evil the world is and how it's not all easy and that there is problems in this and that she wasn't a princess all along because it was hard fought, and how she learned and like how she could put her mind to do anything she wanted.
But it's hard for everyone.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't like it. Everyone has a hard life.
which she did, to be fair.
Yes. But anyway, so, yeah, 7.6. Would we recommend watching it? Yeah, compared to what's out at the moment, there's a lot of rubbish. We haven't done a review for a couple of weeks because
Well, the Christmas
we've seen a
New
few
Year's break.
films. We've had that as well, but
Yeah.
it's not just that. They're nothing to write about. We watched one of the Disney films. It was it the Ferdinand? That
I
was
quite
just.
enjoyed that. It was a kid's
And
film.
what was the other one we
There's
watched?
only so much you can do about kid films there.
So you can't even remember them. They're that bad. It's like I probably forget this film maybe a month's time, but it will stay with me longer than the rubbish that's out at the moment. They did say 25 years Hollywood have been, this is the worst summer sales
Yeah.
of Hollywood in 21. I can agree. Like they've not been good films this year. They really have not.
Hopefully,
been, not much to
spring
write.
brings better films.
It doesn't look it from the trailers though. I mean, there's a good one coming out. Well, it's a lot of actors, but yeah, I mean, we'll probably do one on that, and we've got a couple of films coming
Winston
out.
Churchill one, which we saw the original one that
Yeah.
they're
There's
remaking.
two
Like
Winston Churchill. I don't know if they're showing that
6
for American
months later, they're
audiences.
making another Winston Churchill film. We're like,
Yeah.
wait, I swear we've already gone to see this, and it's coming out again. But no,
Yeah,
different Churchill,
yeah.
different.
So, I
take
don't
on
really want to see
Churchill.
it because I feel like it's the exact same film.
So do I.
It's the exact. It's basically someone else's. It's sort of like when Disney does, Finding Nemo, and then you've got Pixar or what is it, Shark Tale in
Yeah.
the same year. It's like, I mean, at least that's a little bit different, but this is the exact same film.
Yeah, literally. Same era, same
just seemed-
actors.
the one we watched was
there
like a
was some
negative-
same actors as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. That's why we're getting
crazy.
confused. Like,
We're
wait, is this a sequel?
yeah, it's like
So
what?
it's sort of like they had a past I forgot what I was gonna say. It's just this is the one we watched was a negative version of Winston Churchill. This seems like a positive version. So
Yes,
maybe you've
very
seen both of them. You might, if you want to see a positive, see that the film coming out.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I don't think that
see
one's out anymore.
no, it's on DVD. Do you
Ah,
remember what it was called?
No.
No. Probably just search Winston Churchill film. I'm sure it will come up.
Anyway, we will see you next time for the next two guys
One film. We're doing
review.
this, apparently. Anyway, thanks guys.
Bye.